Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Chicago SAT review series. And in this unit, we're going to cover some very basic about angles, triangles, and some trigonometry functions here. So in this unit, we're going to have 4 different videos. And we're going to cover 4 very basic concepts in the geometry. But those 4 and they are the very, very frequently happened problems in the SAT. So I'd like to go over with you guys. Okay, so the first video will be pretty simple video. We're going to talk about the sum of the angle in the triangles or quadrilateral and some special angles properties here. And then the next ones here, the next videos, we're going to talk about some angle associated with the parallel lines and the special, what is the characteristics or the properties for the isosceles triangles. Here we're going to discuss it. And a lot of problems based on the isosceles triangles properties. Then the video number 3 is here. We're going specifically, zoom in into the right triangles. But we're going to work on the 2 special right triangles. We call this 30, 60, and 90 degrees, or it's 45, 45, 90 degrees right triangles. And we want to see what are the several good properties about it. Then the last topic, last video, we're going to focus on talk about some trigonometry functions. We're not going to go deep. We're just going to have the basic definitions and a couple very good properties about the trig functions here. All right. So here is how we break it down. So here this is the first set. We're going to talk about the different very simple definition about the angles and use the properties. So we're going to have 5 problems. Then we're going to take a break for the video 1. Going to stop here. Then for the video 2s, we're going to start the next 4 problems here. All these 4 problems are associated with like how to use isosceles triangle properties and how do we talk about the parallel lines and the angles associated with the parallel lines here. So the video number 2, we're going to cover these 4 problems. Then for the video number 3 is here, we're going to talk about the special right triangles and how to use that property to find, like for example, the angles or the length of the sides. Here, we're going to have 2 problems. Then the last videos, we're going to use the trig function definitions and try to solve some problems. And so that's it. All right. So therefore, after this unit, you should get a pretty good basic idea in the geometry, and the majority of the problem on the SAT problems will not go any deeper or will not go harder than what we discussed here. All right. Okay. So now let's start, and let's go to the whiteboard and let's start. Take a look at our first set, the 5 problems, and dealing with some very basic properties here. Okay, so now let's go back to my whiteboard here. Okay, so like we always do, we're going to get a review. So in here, the things we want to review is I think some of you maybe it's very trivial here. The first things here, right? So if you have a triangles here, so if you have any triangles, right? So if you have any triangles here, so if this is A, B, C, so if you have any triangles here, so if you add the triangle, so if the angle A plus angle B, well, I think the better way to write is the measurements of angle A plus the measurements of angle B plus the measurements of angle C. So if you add any triangles, right, doesn't matter is is right triangle or not, is isosceles or not, doesn't matter. When you add all the 3 angles together, so what is going to happen? So it will be the 180 degrees. And what is, okay, how about the quadrilateral? quadrilateral is just like a four sides shape. So for the quadrilaterals here, it doesn't have to be like a square or like let me try to here. So like doesn't have to be square or like maybe let's see here. Well, I think okay. So let's do here. Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, so for the A, B, C, D here, right? So if this is so quadrilateral, that means what? That means this is four sides, right? So you have a four sides. It doesn't have to be square, doesn't have to be rectangle. So for the quadrilateral, if you add these four angles together, can you tell me what that will be? It will be what? It will be 360 degrees, right? Why? You will say, why is it 360 degrees? Because for the quadrilateral, you can always divide it this way. For example, if you connect these two, right, these 2 points, so what happens here? You divide it into two triangles. And from the previous, we know each triangle is 180 degrees. So when you add the two triangles together, so it's 360 here. That's why the quadrilateral is add up to the 360 here. Okay, okay. So now the next ones here, we also, we're going to know some special angles here. So the first ones here is supplementary. Okay, so what is the supplementary angles here? So if you have a straight lines here, okay, so if you have any lines kind of go through here. So if this angle, I'm going to color that. So I like to use color, so make it. So if this angle is X, okay, and if this angle is Y, right? So if this angle and this angle this is Y, because they are on the lines, right? So we call the X and Y, they are what? They are supplementary. They are the supplementary angles. And what is the good property about the supplementary? Because they are on the lines. So I know a line is how many degrees? It's 180. That means the angle X plus angle Y has to be equal to what? Is 180 degrees, right? So don't forget, this is how we define as a supplementary. You add up 180 degrees. Okay, now let's take a look at what is a complementary angle. Complementary angle, that means if you have two lines here, all right? So if these two, they perpendicular to each other, and then you have any angles here. So let me also color that. So if this is the angle, this is the angle X, and this is the angle, if this is, we call this is the angle Y here, right? So if this is the angle Y. So these ones here, because they are what? They are still separated on right angles, right? So these ones here, the XY. So what do we call? We call it a complementary. So you just need to know the names here, right? So that means they are complementary angles. So if you add it, so because this is 90 degrees, right? So pretty trivial. So X plus and Y is equal to what? It's 90 degrees here, correct? Okay, so that's the complementary angles. So we're going to use all this in our problem solving, and those are very, very basic geometry definition. So what is the vertical angles? Vertical angle, that means in here, if you have a two, right? So you have a two lines, they intersect, right? Okay, so now the vertical angles, so in here, so this angle and then this angle, as you can see, I use the same color right now. They kind of face to each other, right? So if like this is x1, this is x2, right? So I would say x1 and x2, they are what? Are the vertical. angles, right? So that's what we call this vertical angle. So that means obviously the mx1 is equal to the mx2, see here. So you will say, hey, how about the other side? Yes, like these two angles here, right? This angle and this angle. So if you want to see, this is xy1 and this is y2. So the same ways here, we know the y1 and y2, they are vertical angle also, right? So the vertical angle, then I know the M1 is equal to Y2, see here. So that means the angle Y1 equal to angle Y2. Those are the 5 special definitions. And like I mentioned, they are very, very basic definitions here, right? And so, you know, like for those type of a problem, if it happen in the SAT exam, they should be very easy to get the credit for that, get the point. They shouldn't lose the points for those type of problems here, right? So I think as long as you know the supplementary, complementary, vertical, you know, it's pretty good. Okay, so now let's take a look at our practice problems here. Okay, so the first problem here is very easy. They say, hey, for these triangles here, I have angle A, B, and C. If angle A is 34 degrees, what is B plus C? So this is very straightforward, right? So you know, because we said that any angle, any 3 angles, you add the angles inside, you know, the inside like a triangle is 180 degrees, right? So A is 34. So it's 34 plus B plus C is equal to 180. Then you minus 34 minus 34. So what do you have here? So the B plus C is equal to 180 minus 34. You will get 140 what? 46 degrees, right? So like if those type of the problem happen, you have to know how to do it, right? So it's very easy to get points for those. Okay, so now let's take a look at this one. Okay, this one's here, I have the AB and this, you know, I have an AB line, the CB line, they intersect. And pay attention to those little things here. So what's that means here? That means this is perpendicular. So if the ABC is here, so what happened? So what happened to the angle x plus 2x degrees plus 2? I don't need to do the x degrees here. I just said x plus 2x plus 2x. So what is this one going to be equal to? Because the green one is right angles, right? So these 3 angles, they divide this orange one. And this orange ones here is going to be what? How many degrees here? It's 90 degrees, correct? Because the orange and the green, they are the supplementary angle. So it's 180. So if the green is 90, right? So we know the green is perpendicular because the problem given. If this is 90, so I know the orange is 90 here. So now you can just solve it. So this is 5x equal to what? 5x equal to 90. Then you divide by 5. Divided by 5, so x equal to 18. So the problems here, they ask us to find the 3x, right? So it will just be 3 times what? 18. So what is here? So this is 54 here. Like I said, for those type of the problem, you know, don't miss those problems in the SAT. Those are the simple problems and easy to get credit for that. Okay, so number C is here. So they give us quadrilaterals, right? So then they give one angle is 45, and then the other one, the angle B is x degree, C is x degree, D is x degree. Now I want to find out what is the value of x. So then based on our review, I know if you add the quadrilateral together, what happened here? So you have 45 degrees plus x plus x plus x. So remember quadrilateral, if you add all the angles, what is the degrees here? Half is what? It's 300 what? It's 360, correct? Okay, so that means this one's here, you minus 45, minus 45. So then here's x plus x plus x. So it's how many x's? 3 x's, right? So 360 minus 45 is 315. Now you divide by 3, divided by 3. So what is your x value? X value is 105 here. All right. So that's why we use the property we just did reviews here. Okay, so far so good, right? It's pretty straightforward, and those are the easy problems, and we have to get the credit for those. See that on the test. Okay, now the next two problems here. Okay, so for this problems here, right? So now I want to find the x's here. Okay, so now let's take a look here, right? So find the x. So the first thing here is a given. This one is a given. This number, this is a 23, all right? And 106 is given. So let's take a look what happened to these angles here, the green angles here. I call, let me see, I call angle, let's say it's angle A, right? So what is the green angle? Because the 106 is given, right? So I know 106 plus what? Plus the measurements of angle what? Angle A, the green angle. It has to be equal to what? Is what angles here? It's going to be what? It's 180. Why? Because 106 and angle A, they are what type of the angle? They are supplementary, right? They are on the line. They are supplementary angle. So now I can find my angle A's here. So will just be the 180 minus 106, right? So 180 minus 106. So I'm going to get a 74 here. Okay. Okay, so the 74. Okay, so 74. Right, that's my green ones, right? So this is green one. Okay, now let's take a look again. Now, what happened to these angles here? This one, the orange one, I will call this is the angle B's here. Okay, so now you see, I know, you know that you see these three angles, purple, green, and orange, right? So I know angle A plus angle B plus 23, because you add all the angles together, what is the angles here? It's 100 what? 180. I know the angle A is 74, so it's 74 plus angle B plus 23 equal to 180. So what is the angle B is here? Okay, so let's so 74 plus 23, 74 plus 23 is 97, right? So it's 97. Okay, so 106. Okay, did I get 74, 106, 23. Okay, so 23 plus 74. Okay, so here, this one's here. So angle B is E plus what? 97 is equal to 180, right? So that means angle B is equal to what? Minus 97, so angle B, so 180 minus 97, so it's 83, right? Okay, so now in here, I know the orange one, so this one is 83. Okay, now I say, okay, finally I be able to see. So I said, okay, so here, let me kind of separate that so we have plenty space. Okay, so now I know the x plus b's, right, is equal to 180. Why? Because the angle x and the angle b, they are what type of the angle? Supplementaries, right? Okay, so they are supplementary angles. So angle X plus B is 83 is equal to 180. So now solve for X minus 83 minus 83. So what is get X? X is equal to the 97. That's what we got X equal to the 97, right? So we just used the several of those different properties back and forth, right? Okay, now, okay, so here, let's take a look at the last ones here. So for these ones here, angle A is given is 20 degrees here. And angle X here is 100 here. So let's see here. So this one's here, this is the yellow one. And the X here, this is 100 here. I'm looking for the Y. Okay, so if we are looking for the Y's here, right? So then the first angle I want to find is, for the Y's here, I need to know this angle, correct? If I know this angle, then I can add this 3 equal to 180. No, I can solve for Y. So how do I get these ones here? So I need to find the angles, this angle, BCA angles here. That's my red angles, right? Okay. Okay, so now let me see here. So I will say the angle ACB or BCA, doesn't matter. ACBs, right? So it's this red ones, right? Correct? Then plus angle B. Angle B is X here. So plus, let me try to color coding. So you will see here. So plus 100. And then plus A. A is these purple ones, right? So purple one is 20s, right? So what is this ones here going to be equal to? Equal to 180. Why? That means that the 3 angles you add up in the triangle is 180. So that's why I know that this red angle ACB is plus 120, right? So let me don't get confused with so far the 120 is equal to 180. So you minus 180 minus 120, I'm sorry here. So that's why I got my red angle ACB is equal to what? My red angle ACB is equal to 60, right? Okay, so that means this angle equal to 60. If this angle equal to 60, what is this one here? This one is equal to 60 also, right? Because MCB equal to 60, so I know the angle DCE is going to equal to the angle ACBs, right? So these two, why they are equal? Why? Why? Because angle DCE and the angle ACB, they are what type of the angle? They are what? Vertical. Right? So they are vertical angles. So the vertical angles will be equal, right? So that's why I got this purple ones. That's a light purple one, okay? Light purple blue kind. Okay, now I can find the y's, right? So how do I find the y's here? So I know the y plus 40 degrees is given. And because the ACB equal to the DCE, so this y is here is 60. So I know this is a plus 60 is equal to what? It's 180. So y plus 100 equal to 180. Now, what is the y's here? Minus 180. What is here? Y is equal to the 80 degrees here. All right. So that is how do we solve it? So from these 5 problems here, as you can see, we use the properties about the special angle. So remember what is a supplementary angle, what is a complementary angles, and what is the vertical angles. Then also 2 things very key, we use a lot, is when you add all the angles together, triangle is 180, right? And so those type of the problems, sometimes very, very simple problem and easy to figure out. So just need to remember, the properties and try to practice, right? So we're going to stop our video number 1 here, and I hope you have time to digest. Then we will come back to the video number 2. We're going to talk about some specific triangle like isosceles and the parallel lines, how the angles associated with the different parallel lines. All right. And that's it. And I'm looking forward to work with you in our second videos here. Okay. So try to practice, right? If you like this video, feel free to subscribe to my channels. And if you still get confused with some concept, leave me a comment and I will try to answer your questions here. Okay, so nice talk to you and looking forward to talk to you on the second videos here.